So now we change to epic battles.
Epic battles! Epic battles!
Alright, epic battles is where we take one character from the Age of Sigmar model range, lore, and we have him fight somebody, from our lore.
Yep.
And age.
For example.
First off.
Alright, we have Conrad von Karstein versus Blade.
Blade, the Daywalker.
Vampire Hunter.
Hunter.
Jive Talker.
Alright, so we've seen Blade do some pretty badass shit.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that could be as fast as a vampire moves in Warhammer World? Because they do move faster than a human.
Yeah.
But so does Blade.
True. How many inches would you have Blade move?
Blade's got a motorcycle.
Well, if he was a model, on a base, he would move.
We do this how the
6 or 7,
characters
6.
Operate.
Yeah.
So Blade does charge into combat a lot. He'll probably just say something and then get flying tackled by Conrad, and then it's a sword fight.
So his sword can't be used by anybody else. It'll cut your fucking hand off. His swords are probably magical in some way. Most vampire lords, I assume, would have at least an enchanted blade.
I mean, there's always blood coming off of that one, so...
Yeah. I think it actually comes down to, does Blade get any blood? Is he blooded up? Because remember when he falls in the pool of blood, he comes out like fucking Blood Hulk. I think on skill alone, we've seen Blade go down on skill alone.
Yeah.
He can be bested. And if he's one of the best swordsmen of all vampires, that's... If he's like the Lucius of...
He was good.
He was very good.
Really
he was by no means the best, but he was up there.
So, would Blade's weapon skill, would you say it's comparable to Conrad's weapon skill?
No.
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Alright.
I would say so.
Then who has this? He would probably have the strength advantage?
He would definitely have the strength advantage, and he would be generating more attacks. And he's probably just an
That's
edge
true.
staff.
Just having another weapon
Yeah.
would generate more attacks.
Yeah, and he is a crazy flurry of blades, like the blood, the Red Fury rule.
He has actual armor for combat, and Blade does not as well.
No, Blade is all anti-ballistics.
It's true. Blade will come in, ting. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and he just has a katana. It's
Yeah.
just a cool katana.
It's a really
No big
cool,
deal.
And it can be broken, right?
Yeah,
any
it has
sword
been
can
broken.
be
Yeah,
Yeah,
boom.
Yeah, it has been broken. I think somebody stomped on it in one of them. We got to give this to Conrad.
Sorry,
here.
Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna have more attacks that do more damage more often.
His fingers aren't going to get cut off.
They're gonna. I would say they're comparable in wounds. I would say they're comparable in weapon skill because they're probably about the same speed.
Yep.
But strength, yeah, he's definitely gonna have the advantage.
Toughness, Vic Conrad also definitely
Has the advantage because he has armor and he does not.
Yep.
So yeah. This time, Warhammer wins.
Sorry, Blade.
Also, he's used to fighting different kind of vampire. Like, Warhammer vampires are subtly different from a lot of other fiction vampires.
And they also spend a lot of time learning swordplay. And
there is the single vampire that's a slouch.
yeah, they're all like snorting coke and shit and fucking Blades. They're all like schlubs.
Yeah.
All right, so next up we have.
Gorkamorka versus.
You can never see the corner.
There you go.
There we are.
God of Destruction, Gorkamorka versus God of Destruction, Beerus.
All right, so if we, like Age of Sigmar, made them into one thing, it's Gorkamorka.
Yeah.
Right? It's no longer Gork versus Mork. Gorkamorka, the best orc there ever was. Biggest, baddest orc, right? He's cunning, brutal but cunning. Against Lord Beerus, who's just hungry as fuck.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's also hungry because he's the ogre god now, too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So he eternally hungers.
Yes.
Man.
Orcs are always looking for a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be the one guy always looking for the best fight.
Yeah.
Beerus could do that. Beerus could offer that fight. orcs don't necessarily means that they win that fight.
No.
they just
You know what I mean?
looking
They
for
just
it.
like the fight.
But from their point of view, even when they lose, if they are still alive, they can come back for another go.
At a
So
fight,
they
yeah.
win.
Yeah, so they win. Yeah, yeah.
Orcs always win from
Yeah,
their point of view.
From their point of view, yeah.
But we're not orcs.
Yeah. So, I actually think, man, because Goku's like turned into a god
Yeah.
and is still beaten by Lord Beerus. I just think Bills beats his ass, man.
Yeah.
He cashes
That's what I
in that
think.
check,
Yeah.
man.
Especially if we don't let orcs watch.
Yeah, if there's no orcs watching to cheer on, because then he just gets stronger and stronger as it goes.
I mean, he is the most psychic of the orcs, so if
He
sees
is.
Beerus and he's just
made
like,
of psychic energy.
and
Yeah.
he just says, "Oh man, I am stronger than this person," and he really believes that.
I think he'd get close, but I just think Lord Beerus can like destroy planets. Like he's like, yeah, I'll just end this planet. I'm done with it. He can maybe end the realm that Gorkamorka's on.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is too hard of a fight, man. I feel like going to get something to eat.
Blows up the planet, kills all the orcs.
Yeah,
Gorkamorka's gone.
yeah, exactly. I see it like a power creep, even if orcs are watching. But I just still think that
All right.
he would eventually have an end game.
Well,
That's like,
another
well,
thing
I'll
is-
end it all.
Oh, another thing is that he doesn't look like he'd be all that entertaining a fight to an orc.
No.
He's spindly
He's-
looking.
yeah, he's skinny.
weedy looking.
Yeah. Into the biggest, baddest orc there ever
He
was.
looks like some kind of abnormally tall cat grot.
What kind of squid are you? Alright, so our last battle is the God of Death, Hela, from the new horror movie.
Thor movie. Or Ragnarok.
Horror Ragnarok. Versus Illyria, the goddess of life.
Okay. Doesn't she cry spirit people, like wood people or something?
She doesn't cry them. She can raise a soul pod with her life magic, like immediately, like just bring forth glades of dudes.
Okay.
There's got to be seeds around for her to
Okay,
life
so he
energy.
draws her power from, like, life and seeds.
Life and seeds
And
and
Hela
stuff.
gets her power, spoiler alert, from the Asgard
Yeah.
in the movie.
She rides a giant beetle that changes into multiple beetles, and
That
then
then reforms into another beetle when she
Yeah.
wants to land.
it can shake terrain pieces and do damage to people inside them.
Alright, so the big question is, can she destroy Asgard before she... can she destroy Asgard before she fills the realm of life with swords?
No.
Just stabs every tree and every plant that's growing gets cut in half by
Yeah.
a sword.
Because she could totally do the, spoilers, Surtur thing and just, alright, more beetles. More beetles.
Yeah.
More beetles. Shake all of Asgard. Destroy Asgard.
She could just start like making the plant life there grow and just
Yeah.
like
Oh,
into
dude.
Hela just
gigantic.
has to kill her.
She could
Get
tree
enough
person
swords
the
to
world
kill her.
tree.
The world tree, the rest of the realms. She could talk right to it. It
Yeah.
possibly affect it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a distinct possibility. Swamp Thing did stuff like that before,
But-
so.
but she's not immune to swords.
She's not.
So I mean,
She
20
could
swords.
be. She could be defeated, but not killed. Like she'd die, but there's a seed inside her that'll
Yeah.
just grow and she'll come again. But that's defeat. You know what I
True.
mean?
it stops everything else.
So this is happening. Let's say this is happening on on Earth.
Alright.
It's not the plane of life. It's not Asgard. They both have access to their magics, but they're-
neither can cut the other off from their source of their power.
Yeah. And they're,
Hela.
No, actually, I think I'd go with Illyria on this. She shows stronger magic than she does throughout the movie. Like, it's a lot of swords, but all she does is swords. She shows versatility. She's accompanied by a giant monster, not a guy with machine guns who betrays her.
yeah, and yeah, when it actually comes down to like Thor being the god of thunder, like starting to raid around, she doesn't have any answer for.
And
Well, she's like I guess
Well,
eternally fighting Surtur in the realm.
Here's my point against it is, in a combat like that, sometimes you don't need versatility. It's war, all right. At this point, it's war. What do you need more? Is she immune to swords? No. All right, I'll just keep making thousands of swords, all right at
She
her.
could continuously try and be like growing up trees and growing up stuff like that.
she could
try
just
and,
grow trees to counter swords.
counter the swords. But I still think that it would become too much.
I think she would get defeated, but would regrow.
I think knowing that you can be defeated as well, and that if she was on Earth, she'd be like, well, this isn't my home, so it doesn't matter if I win this or lose this. This isn't for my home.
I just think Illyria is just stronger than movie Hela. That's all.
Well, her spell does wounds on a 4+, and if anybody dies, it's like whatever the casting roll was. So it's a casting value of like 5 or 6, and whatever the casting roll was, that's how many dice you roll. On 4+ it does mortal wounds, and if you kill the unit, then it turns into a forest. So it's a pretty I just shot you with a sword kind of spell, except for did you die? Well, you fell and you turned into a forest. You know what I mean? Her magic, she gets to cast 3 spells, but we don't know how much she would get to cast, and what her personal spell would be like.
You know, if her
in
personal
Warhammer.
spell is something like pick an enemy unit within 18 inches, roll 20d6. 6s are automatic mortal wounds.
That's absurd
Like-
for what we saw from her, though. To me,
Dude, she defeated an army
well,
in
regardless,
the beginning of the movie, like with
Yeah,
swords, like
she's-
Valkyries and shit. Like
I get
they're
what you're
charging
saying.
in on Pegasi, and she just like, well, swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I just still think she's stronger, but it's 2-1.
Yeah. All right. So it's a good debate, though.